welcome the first presenter for the day, that is Alex Rob. Alex Rob, you can start. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sydney. Good morning, everyone. My name is Alex Rob, and I'm a graduate from the Technical University of Kenya with a bachelor's degree in engineering in geospatial engineering. And I've been interning with Eastern Africa since the beginning of the year in January, and will be ending it on this month. We got started on our projects, and I got to do my project on drought risk analysis and preparedness using the ArcGIS technology, a case study of 5 Kenya arid and semi-arid counties. So to start us off in a context, drought here is a disaster. And according to the World Health Organization definition on disaster, it's an occurrence that disrupts the normal conditions of existing and causing a level of suffering that exceeds the capacity of adjustment of the affected community. So the part where the drought now falls squarely in place in terms of definition is the capacity of adjustment. It exceeds the capacity of adjustment of the affected community, and that's where I will be dealing with now. So if going on a little background, Kenya's SR counties are the ones that are mostly vulnerable to the impacts of drought. And the World Bank documents that the prolonged Kenyan drought of 2008 and 2011 resulted in combined damages and losses of about 12.1 billion by 2011, leaving millions of people faced with hunger. The drought in Kenya, looking at the history of Kenya's drought over the years, it's been increasing in frequency and intensity. The one that is documented also that's happened is the one for 2020 and 2022, which left many people with displacement and loss of livelihoods, consisting of 24% of the SL population, which I will be dealing with. So drought risk analysis now is the qualitative and quantitative approach in which of determining the nature and extent of the drought by analyzing potential hazards and dimensions such as exposure and vulnerability in trying to come up with mitigation measures and interventions. The preparedness with the project I'm dealing with will be based on sound analysis of drought risk and good linkages with intervention measures and activities such as contingency planning, stockpiling of resources, and coming up with measures that are targeted to the regions that are mostly affected by the drought. The problem statement: in the absence of comprehensive drought risk assessment and preparedness strategies, there will be it will exacerbate existing vulnerabilities, and it will impede mitigation measures and response effort in those counties. And so to increase resilience and reduce the socioeconomic and environmental impacts of these disasters, there is an urgent need to examine and address gaps in disaster risk analysis and preparedness, which we'll be dealing with in this project. My main objective was to be able to demonstrate an approach that will empower communities to proactively mitigate the impacts of drought as a disaster. The specific ones are, the first one would be to identify top 5 drought-prone counties among Kenya's arid and semi-arid regions, and conduct time series trend analysis with the climatic variables to be able to predict the severity levels in those counties, and also to evaluate the preparedness measures for emergency response and planning in the identified drought-prone counties. This is my solution architecture, and as you can see, I'll be importing points, layers, the data from different data sources, some of which are the Human Data Exchange, the Kenya Meteorological Department, and a water balance app in Axis Living Atlas, which I'll be saving it in my local storage computer, and I'll be performing spatial analysis using ArcGIS-Pro. Then I'll be using R Studio, the R programming now, to link it with ArcGIS using a package called R ArcGIS Bridge to be by way of ArcGIS binding, so that I'll be able to export my outputs to be able to do the analysis using ArcGIS Pro. So this connection enables outputs to be done between ArcGIS Pro and R. My activities I will be doing using R will be statistical analysis using the data that I'll be providing using my demo, modeling and prediction of the drought between the years 2000 and 2023, and we'll be showing some forecasting of some of that data to show us the severity levels of the drought in the coming years. So all of that data will be uploaded to ArcGIS Online, in which some of the ArcGIS provides us with some of the apps that could be used for visualization and analysis of that data, such as using dashboards, instant apps, especially the time slider and the web maps. All this information will be accessible through the desktops, webs, and devices. And so that forms part of my disaster risk. The next bit now will be about preparedness. Talking about preparedness, there will be a survey from using Survey 123, one of the tools provided by ArcGIS, in which the communities in those individual counties that are being affected by the drought will fill the survey, and they will upload it, in which the dashboards will be created for data visualization and analysis. So some of the items that will be shown are be able to monitor the severity levels of drought in those counties as per the information provided by the individual communities on the survey, the resource availability, and the community needs. And so this information will be accessed by the relevant stakeholders, and the relevant stakeholders will be dealing with, will have access to this platform, will be the NDMA, that is the National Drought Management Authority body in Kenya, that provides leadership and coordination of Kenya's efforts in the management of drought risk and adaptation to climate change. We also have a SAL humanitarian network. This is a platform that promotes humanitarian systems, enabling more locally led responses when it comes to disasters such as drought in those regions in the SALs. And then we have the United Nations Disaster Risk Reduction. So after they have acquired this data, the relevant stakeholders will interact with data to understand the current situation in the ground, and they will be able to understand also the preparedness levels. And so they will determine the drought hit counties, the most drought hit counties for that period, and prioritize interventions. But first they will have to do an on-ground assessment. The on-ground assessment now, the assessors will conduct follow-up assessments to the actual communities by gathering first-hand information regarding health, water, and food conditions, which now will be also be visualized by the dashboards. And this information will be available to other stakeholders now, such as the other government agencies, NGOs, community groups, research institutions, and even advocacy groups. They will be able to access the information via the desktop, web, or other devices. The benefits of my solution will be able to understand the natural climate variability of the region. So the trend analysis I'll be performing will influence will show how the influence of climate oscillations on drought frequency and severity on those regions over the course of the years, such as in Kenya now. It will also be able to inform risk management. So the trend analysis will highlight areas, or in this case, counties that are experiencing drought risk, increasing drought risk over the years. It will also be able to enhance preparedness. The collection of data on drought-related variables will assess vulnerabilities, identify priority areas for interventions, and develop targeted preparedness strategies. The community also will be able to engage and in the data collection process, which will promote participatory approaches to drought management. It will also be able to build enable capacity building, which will engage stakeholders in the data collection process to build their capacity for drought resilience and responses, which will also foster awareness and knowledge and sharing and empower them to take proactive measures against drought-related challenges. Now I'm going to show you my demo on how I approached this situation. So I'm going to run over to my ArcGIS Pro now. So the first bit, the Salim Ontario network have 10 counties that I've been measuring on. And so from those 10 counties, I was able to narrow down my case study to 5 of them. And the way I did that was by use of ArcGIS Pro, by performing suitability analysis by way of weighted overlay. So the data data layers I'll be using are the slope, land cover, the temperature, and the precipitation for year 2023. This will be able to inform my my model and give me the indices. So after I performed input the data, reclassified and weighted them with regards to the significance in influencing drought, I was able to come up with a weighted model, this one. So the higher pixel values indicates a higher susceptibility to drought. And so you can see from these counties, it's the northernmost parts of Kenya. Yeah, this will be able to give us these counties, these 5 counties, which are mostly northern parts of Kenya. The next bit was be able to show how the impact of water, now the availability of water in those regions, and to map them in order to show the access of the communities in availing or reaching those water. So in terms of water points, I was able to provide buffers to be able to show us the stress levels in which the communities are enduring in search of said water. The same I was able to do with the water lines. Most of these water lines are intermittent, they are non-perennial, so they are not available throughout the year, which also poses a great risk to the residents of those regions. And last bit of it is the water areas. We have some few of them in these regions, and so most of the people in these regions cannot access them, and so they are left with the water lines and areas to suffice within provision of their water. But now some of them, these regions, some of them don't have an intersection of either of the water points, areas, or lines, which poses a great risk to them. And so this will be able to help in trying to come up with a way to analyze and be able to add more water points, such as wells and tanks, to provide water for them during severe conditions. The population in these regions has grown gradually over the years. It's not like most parts of Kenya where growth rate is a bit fast-paced. These regions they're mostly affected by drought, and so drought is a big factor in determining in determining their growth rate, population growth rate. So as you can see from the line chart, there is a very gradual change. If it's barely noticeable, but yeah, there's change. This is past 4 years. It's still quite so, which shows us that there is a correlation between the drought in those regions and how the growth rate is. The next bit now, in terms of a disaster risk, I was able to provide some data, soil moisture, evapotranspiration, precipitation, and mean annual temperature for each of the counties. And I wanted to showcase the series time trend analysis for them. And so if we pick the mean annual temperature, let's say we have a line chart, this line chart, we're able to see the counties. We are able to see the counties, and you see that it's fluctuating. The variability is so high, so that in a span of less than a year, you're able to see quite huge shifts in terms of change in temperature. And so you can be able to analyze each one of them and figure out which of the counties are experiencing very increased temperatures. And so by use of a time filter, we can be able to see, to visualize temporally between the dynamic map and the line chart of how the variability in terms of annual temperature for these years since 2001 to 2023 has been, with these parts, the spots of higher color codes of red experiencing increased temperatures over the years with constant. So the variability now is where it sets in, like even for the top counties like Turkana and Mandera and a bit of Marsabit. So these counties, they can be able to be analyzed and shown that they're experiencing very high temperatures over the years. My next bit now was to perform I was able to use RStudio to perform some predictions on, it's just bit to bit, the 2000 to 2023 prediction on the drought, on how it's been. And you see I've used axis binding, and also I did some forecast on some years to come on how the severity levels on those counties will be. Okay. So going back to, I'll be able to show you using, now the drought trend analysis now from the composite indices we've calculated from R. You can be able to visually see the changes over the years. Some of them remain high in terms of the drought impacts in those regions, which are most of these regions. This will be able to visually see and compare them and come up, if you're trying to determine the counties that are mostly hit, you'll be able to see that some of them are more hit than others. In certain time periods, there are ones that remain at higher risk, at higher drought risk compared to others. And so this will be able to give you that information. After we've done the drought risk now, we'll be able to just a minute. The team sent to the ground now will be able to get us some of the information, the community members, and fill the survey form now regarding the condition on the ground, like the current drought conditions, impact on their daily lives. And this form now will be uploaded to online, where the dashboards now will be will be created for this instance now. This is the dashboard representing the drought risk analysis and the preparedness of the community members in those specific counties. So as per this, you'll be able to see the current drought conditions. Using this dashboard now, it will be the current drought conditions for the individuals, the surveys that have been received, awareness of drought preparedness measures, their impact on daily life, and how are the communities prepared in terms of the activities that they are conducting, and if there is coordination with other organizations. And so you can maneuver through some of the counties. You see the differences now, like 50% of surveys from the Garissa are saying that the drought condition is low, and the other one is saying it's moderate. Yeah, all of them are saying that they have drought preparedness measures. Impact on drought is significant to others. You can see that the conditions the survey they are providing on health and water are of equal measure. But now, equally, you can see that the food is the highest when it comes to all the counties. The surveys are being received. Food is the one that's being reported the most. This is now will be able to inform the stakeholders that they need to take action regarding food by prioritizing its survey now, which in the next section will be able to give us the food assessment. This is the food center assessment now. So the assessed drought severity level from the assessors now shows that all of the centers now show that there is 38% severity level. Moderate is 38%. And all this information will be able to be referenced to the forecasted severity levels that I did with R. And so they will be able to reference it and give us an understanding of the situation on the ground. So for this food center, you can see that for each county, there are some food centers that have been recorded. And so if you click one of them in Garissa now, you can see that there's a food inventory table that will give you the condition, the situation on the ground on that food center with regards to the availability of food items and the quantities. And so with this information now, they will be able to decide with this current, they say that the severity level is moderate. Will these food items be able to cater for the people in that region with the current severity level? Or are there any emergency measures that are needed to be set in place, like increasing such food items in order to cater for them? And so all of this can be shown for all the other counties and be checked against the forecasted severity levels and determine if the situation can be improved. Next now is with regards to food, there is an organization and distribution dashboard where you can be able to maneuver and view the partners involved majorly with distributing food to those regions, like the Red Cross Society, the World Food Programme, community-based organizations. These organizations can partner together to provide food to those regions, to the drought-stricken regions in terms of emergencies. As you can see, like for Lekun Center now, WFP and some community-based organizations are partnering, and you can be able to see the number of families being served through that food center, 30 of them, and how are the individuals accessing the food in that center. So they will be working and they will be using public means. So all this information together with the food center assessment will be able to provide information to the stakeholders now, all this which will be available to other stakeholders to be viewed publicly, and will give them an overview of how the situation is at the ground, and they will be able to prioritize their intervention measures, whether be it stockpiling of resources or food supplies or any other emergency protocols they have in place. And so this is an example of a food assessment. There will be a water assessment which they would assess the water situation in those regions, and also there will be a healthcare assessment form, which will be displayed in a dashboard like this one, and so it will be able to help them come up with proper measures in trying to mitigate the situation. And so the last bit now is the supported preparedness measures. The above approach, the data that have been collected from the members, from the communities and the assessment, will be able to provide information that will that will be used in these elements in order to come up with a comprehensive preparedness strategy, like the community training and awareness. The survey now will give you a situational awareness on the community training. How is it there? So conducting training sessions and awareness campaigns in order to educate the community about drought risk and preparedness measures and the response protocols as per the information acquired from the field. It can also be used for resource allocation plans, where you can develop resource allocation plans to ensure that essential resources such as food, water, medical supplies, and equipment are readily available and accessible during emergencies. This can also be useful in collaboration with stakeholders, which fosters a collaboration with local authorities, NGOs, and others, also other stakeholders, in order to coordinate efforts, share resources, and develop comprehensive drought response plans. It can also be used for monitoring and evaluation. This by establishing monitoring and evaluation mechanisms to assess the effectiveness of preparedness measures, identify areas of improvement, and adjust strategies accordingly. Also help in capacity building, in that local communities, government agencies, and organizations will enhance their ability to prepare and respond to drought effectively. And also research and innovation. It will encourage research and innovation in drought resilience technologies, sustainable agriculture, water conservation, and climate adaptations. Plus the early warning systems will be able to come up with early warning systems with regards to drought, tailored to drought, that will help the communities now to come up with either evacuation plans or extra resources to be provided to them as per the information provided. So all this preparedness approach now provides all this information that will be essential in eventually mitigating the effects of drought and come up with proper measures that will not result in livelihood losses and displacement of people. That is the end of my presentation. Thank you for having a listen. And yes, the next part of the presentation now, I will be handing it over to Immaculate Asimwe from Uganda, who will be taking us through her presentation. Yeah, thank you. Immaculate, you have the floor.
Thank you, Alex, for that wonderful presentation. My name is Immaculate Asimwe. I am a surveyor. I work at the Uganda National Roads Authority in the Department of Land Acquisition. And I'm going to present about ArcGIS for right-of-way and road infrastructure management. UNRA is an agency of government under the Ministry of Works, and it's mandated to maintain, develop, and manage the national road network. Its mission is to efficiently develop and maintain a safe and sustainable national road network for the economy of Uganda. I started my internship with Esri early January, and during this internship, I've worked on a project for right-of-way and road infrastructure management that is intended to help UNRWA deliver on its mandate through the different stages of the road project, including the resettlement action planning, road design, land acquisition, vacation enforcement, roads and bridges development, as well as road maintenance. Some of the pain points at the National Roads Authority are strongly related to our spatial data management. We have a small GIS unit working in isolation, and this isolation is twofold. One, it is in one department that is not linked to other departments that potentially need GIS. And also within that department, the GIS is on isolated individual computers that are not interconnected. Also, other departments store, or other officers that don't have GIS, store files, including CAD, Excel, PDFs, and JPEGs, whether spatial or non-spatial, on their individual computers. Generally, spatial data is not linked to attribute data. I'm going to display some files to further elaborate on that. For example, this is a strip map which has land parcels. The CAD file is spatial data, but we also have this Excel file that has attribute data that should be ideally linked to the AutoCAD file, but it's not. So an officer has to keep switching between the Excel file to view the information. For example, for the project affected person with reference number 1, this one that I've highlighted, is called Ewalu. In the strip map, they are here. Yeah, I find this very tedious, and I feel like there's a need for GIS to integrate all this information together so that it can be accessed in one go. Then there is also a slow data collection, and there is also slow data collection and processing, because in the field, data is collected with the survey machine with some sketches in the field book. From the survey machine, it does not directly go to a database. It has to be downloaded and processed into an appropriate format. I also feel like GIS needs to be used to address that problem. Then there's also duplication of efforts by individuals or departments. For example, different departments may be in need of the same kind of data, but because they're not working together, you find that field officers go out to the field to collect the same information separately, resulting in wastage of resources. Then also, in case of lost data, there's wastage of time involved in doing the same task again. Then there's also lack of data visualization tools to support decision making by the top management team. The proposed solution to these challenges is an end-to-end solution that supports integration of different user departments through enterprise GIS that enables data sharing and collaboration. Then the solution will also support integration of data collection, storage, processing, management, and analysis into one seamless process. For example, when data is collected, it directly goes to a database. And in that database, it is processed. And in the same database, you get the maps, which you share with other users on the same system. This solution also promotes inter and intra-department collaboration and data sharing, and it also supports It also provides dissemination or visualization tools for decision making, especially for the executives. This proposed solution has three objectives. One is to provide a streamlined solution for the collection, storage, and management of RAP data, design data, land acquisition data, road infrastructure data, thereby improving efficiency. The second objective is to provide a solution that facilitates inter and intra-department collaboration and data sharing, thereby promoting teamwork, data integrity, and lowering data collection and processing costs. And thirdly, to provide a solution that allows for real-time access to information or near real-time, monitoring of activities or events, and multiple data visualizations, for example, pie charts, graphs, maps, etc., resulting in insights for faster responses or decision making. Well, with support from the training team, I was able to design the solution architecture as displayed, and it encompasses 4 different stages of coming up with a road. The first stage being planning, under which we have RAP, surveying and design. The second stage is land acquisition, which involves stakeholder engagement, survey and valuation data capture, processing of data, display of data, grievance management, verification of PAPs, payment of PAPs, and title processing. The third stage is after land acquisition is road construction, which is followed by maintenance and rehabilitation. And lastly, we have executive access, which includes the executive director and public and corporate affairs department, as well as investigations and enforcement. To be able to build the architecture that I've displayed, I use different components of the GIS system, which include ArcGIS Online and Enterprise, which is for data sharing and collaboration. Here you're able to obtain data that has been collected by other members within the organization or external to the organization, and you're also able to share your information with other members. ArcGIS Pro, this is mainly for data management. It stores data, you're able to do analysis in the data, build relationships between different data sets, and also make maps. The other tool is Field Maps. Field Maps is a map-centric data collection tool that is used to collect information about different features on the road. And I also used ArcGIS Survey 123 forms, which is a form-centric data collection tool where you collect information into a form, and that information is mapped. And lastly, I also used ArcGIS dashboards, which is basically summarizing the information that is in the database to answer questions that may be posed by the executive. Yeah. So one of the main tasks I did was to design data collection forms for the different stages of the road project. As displayed, there is the right of way, a form for collecting information about the right of way, which is a polygon, then the design center line, the right of way change points, the control points, existing road edges, project affected persons, PAP land, PAP buildings and structures, PAP crops, assessment form, valuation report, PAP verification, compensation, and title subdivision. I'm going to display some, but not all of the forms, so that you can get a feel of how it works. So after the forms were designed, they were published. This is a list of all the things I published, and the forms are also there. You can see there are several of them. But when you click you click here to open. When they open, they display like this. So for example, here, this form is the PAP form. So you have to first indicate the project on which the PAP falls. So we'll say maybe it's RD 0101, road project 01, field officer, date of collection, there's a calendar here. Then you start PAP data per village. So this is like the first village. You put the date when you collected data in that village. Maybe I'll say Katine. Sub-county, Katine. District. Sorority. LC. Telephone. Then the else one represented their designation, can say chairman. And then here you start entering now the PAP details. So this is the first PAP, the reference number is KO. Right hand side 01. Then you fill in all the information, the name, you can take their picture, put the telephone numbers, national ID, NIN number. You can take a photo of their national ID. In case you enter the NIN number incorrectly, you can cross check. You can enter the tenure on the land, whether they are licensees, tenants, freehold owners, etc. For sociologists are usually interested in the vulnerability. This will take care of that problem. So when you're done with the first part, also there's a map, yeah. Here on the map, okay, my computer is not geo-enabled, but you can zoom in to that location and map the PAP. Then after that, you can go to the second PAP, fill in the information, and continue like that. Yeah, yeah. So the other tables, I'm not going to go through them, but we have this one, which is for the buildings for each PAP. Then there's another form, which is for the crops for each PAP, etc. And then finally, we also have a form for road maintenance after the road has been finished, and there's need to keep it in good condition. So in case there's a problem, the field teams can go out there and document this so that they can be managed appropriately. So there's road infrastructure category. We have road surface, road tollway, bridge, traffic lights, etc. Wherever the problem is, you indicate it, then you describe the problem, etc., etc. Yeah. So I'll go back to the presentation. Yeah, so that was designing of the forms. Then I also use the ArcGIS Pro to integrate some of the data from CAD to ArcGIS Pro so that I can link that data to the tables that I formed. So I displayed here the land parcels that I had previously displayed in the AutoCAD drawing. You can see the reference numbers. Whereas in AutoCAD, the text for the reference number is just pasted in the drawing. It's not in the database. Here, it is in the database and it can be switched on and off depending on the need. Yeah, and also further information can also be done here. The acreage can be calculated in the software, and it can be made to display in the polygon. Whereas here, you have to calculate it and paste it on the surface, which is tedious and time consuming. Yeah, then also in ArcGIS Pro, I designed a database for the different data sets that I was going to work with. as you can see here, there is there's the polygon feature classes, which are the land parcels. There's valuation details table, etc. It is all displayed there. Yeah. Then data storage, data analysis. I created relationship classes between the different tables. I created a map that I published online, and I didn't do much of cartography, but with enough data, you can do cartography to show, for example, which land parcels have been paid for, which land parcels, if you have title land parcels, which land titles have been returned, so that you know where to direct your attention. Yeah. I also did some activities involving data sharing and collaboration using ArcGIS Online, and it was through through this tool I was able to access base maps, and I was also able to publish my own maps and forms, and I was able to use Survey 123 app for data collection. These apps I was displaying can be accessed using ArcGIS Online. From here, you can see the different data sets that have been published. And with ArcGIS Online, you can determine who can view your data. For example, here, the organization can view that data. Here, only the owner can see the data. Yeah. Next, so after all that is done, yeah, we saw previously that the final stage of the road project is the executive access. Yeah, on a daily, the executive director is faced with very many questions which he has to answer. For example, on a road project, what is the status of the project? Is it still under land acquisition? Is it under construction? Or if it's under land acquisition, what stage has it reached? Is it 80% or 70, etc., etc.? Yeah. Plus several other questions: total amount of land acquired, total number of PAPs paid, etc. So to be able to currently, to be able to get that information, she has to, it has to go down the ladder, like to the different subordinates until it reaches down to the officer responsible. And imagine sometimes it can take over a week to get that information, because our jobs are mostly field-based. Sometimes the officer is not at their best to avail the necessary information. So the dashboards save from all that trouble. And again, working with the training team, I was able to design a dashboard. And what the dashboard displayed is mainly based on the data that you have entered. You have to enter very good and organized data to be able to display. It has to be correct. Yeah. So here, for example, and the dashboard is also interactive. Yeah. In a click, we are assuming that the executive director is not conversant with GIS. They are not technical in GIS. So they have something that is, they need something that is user friendly. So for example, a certain person, say, let's see from this map, a certain person called Ikino comes to the ED and tells her, I have a problem, I was not paid, etc. So the ED will just type in the name. I'm sorry, it's supposed to be here, the name. So here the name comes, and then when the name comes, sorry, let me get another name with information. Oide David. Okay, let's use the reference numbers. Maybe a certain path with that reference number has a certain issue. First of all, when we go to that reference number, we can establish where they are located on the map. Assuming this in the database, you can have, as long as the capacity permits, you can have all your projects there. Yeah. So if someone is from a project in the north, and you put the reference number, it will take you to the map that shows where that person is located. Yeah. So that this is the land parcel for this person. And like I said, if the data is input correctly, the required information should be shown. Here is a pie chart displayed showing the PAPs that have been paid. Yeah, it shows that 36% of the PAPs have been paid. It also shows that 43% of the PAPs are in batches that have been forwarded to accounts, and some of the PAPs as project affected person, some of the PAPs documents are missing some attachments, hence they are not yet processed. Yeah, so that is some of the vital information in the land acquisition, process. Yeah, then we also have this, which shows the percent. If the ED is interested in knowing the percent of land that has been acquired, this shows that 7% of the land so far on the project has been acquired. Then for road maintenance, there's a tool called Field Maps, and it is map centric. You go out to the field, locate damaged infrastructure, or when you're doing your regular checks, you identify damaged infrastructure. You map the feature using the field map on a mobile device. Can be on your phone. This app can be used on your phone. You can also capture the attribute data for that feature, including descriptive information like the actual problem, the condition, whether the condition is bad, and you can also take a picture to add more context to the problem. Yeah, so the benefits of this solution include that it promotes teamwork, yeah, because people are going to be collecting their data and sharing it with others, yeah. And then also promotes efficiency because it minimizes time wastage between different stages of data collection and processing. Then it also promotes data integrity because whoever makes changes to the data sets has to log in and to show what time the person made those changes and who the person is. And like we already said, for people that are not, for executives that don't have technical knowledge in GIS, they're able to access summarized information like pie charts, graphs, summary statistics, reports to meet their daily needs of decision making. Yeah, in conclusion, this internship has been enriching. We learned, I was able to learn new features and capabilities of ArcGIS. It has evolved from what we were used to in the past. I developed a prototype for application of ArcGIS in right-of-way and road infrastructure management. And this solution has the ability to save the organization over 20% of the time spent in data collection, processing, and dissemination. Of course, this needs to be researched and a cost-benefit analysis done. This solution will also improve spatial data management in the organization, a problem that we are currently grappling with. My recommendation is to engage with top management of the Roads Authority and sell the idea, to do a needs assessment for the organization with relevant stakeholders, to do a cost-benefit analysis and understand the relationship between time, cost, and quality, and to put in effort and improve on the solution, to test the solution, and then to plan for change management and integration of all projects, and finally roll out the projects. Finally, my appreciation goes to Esri Eastern Africa and Esri Eastern Africa Uganda office for the support rendered. And specifically, I acknowledge Laban, Edith, Sydney, Christine, who have supported me technically on this journey. Thank you so much. Next, I would like to introduce Mr. Ehud Yator.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ehud Yator from Dedan Kimathi University of Technology, pursuing a Bachelor of Science in Geomatics and Geospatial Information System. So my project was on crop insurance, risk assessment, and claims management module. So I would like to share my screen. Wait. Yeah. And the project was for the crop insurance, risk assessment and claims management. And this is to analyze the crop insurance and optimizes the claims processes. And for my problem statement, despite the advancement in agricultural technology, crop farming remains susceptible to various risks, including weather patterns, natural disasters, pests and diseases, and these risks impact the farm profitability. So for crop bank who are undergoing or trying to ensure the crops, they play a vital role in mitigating this risk by providing the financial protection against losses, and this by leveraging on innovative tools such as geographic information system. These solutions aim in enhancing the efficiency, accuracy, and transparency of crop insurance operations. And these are the various risks that affects the crops. And for my objectives, the main objectives is that to access the risk, manage claims efficiently in order to enhance the efficiency, accuracy, and effectiveness of insurance processes. And the specific objectives is to identify and analyze the potential risk, to monitor risk, and streamline claims management processes. And let's go to the methodology. This just the process of this solution. So I first identify the risk and analyze them. Then I monitor the risk and then claims management. And for the solution architecture, from the bottom, we have sources of data that are used in the solution, and we have online content and satellite imagery. For satellite imagery, there is the use of Landsat 8 imagery from USGS Earth Explorers. And then for online content, we have digital elevation model from isosed from CMRD. Then we have other sources like food, agriculture, and organization of UN, where I saw the data for pest and diseases risk. And we also have a world climb, where I used to source the data for precipitations. And then I use ArcGIS Pro and ArcGIS Online on my solution. Then after that, we have a COP portal. This specifically like for a COP bank. So that's why you are seeing COP portal. And at your right hand, you see ArcGIS Survey 123. This is where the policyholders or farmers used it for the data collection. Then we have ArcGIS field maps for the claims adjusters. Then from there to your left, we have output, and we have two sections. Section 1, you see it's for the executive access only, for the bank officials or executive officers. And here we have dashboards, web maps. These are for the data that can be accessed by the executive only. And at the bottom, we have dashboards and web maps for the policyholders, farmers actually. And now from there, we go to the solution, or how to ArcGIS Pro, how I came about for this solution. So I would like to share screen on ArcGIS Pro. I hope you are seeing my screen. So from there, I did flood risk analysis, the pest and diseases analysis, risk analysis. Then there was for the crop monitoring, we have crop change detection, and also for the claims investigation, I also use the crop change detections. So I'll start with flood risk analysis. In flood risk analysis, I have the precipitation data, the digital elevation data, slope, then streams, and land use, land cover data. And from there, for the slope, I calculated through the use of I used I'm sorry, I used little bit. Yeah, I think it's now okay. Let's take through the slope calculation. So yeah, I went to let's search on the slope. Special analyst tools. Then I use, let's say I input the DM as input data. And then output data is, you see it's slope. Then you run, but I will not run it because it's will take time. And I have the output here. So from there, I did the reclassification on the other parameters, precipitations, and digital elevation model. And after that, I did weigh some to come up with a flood risk map. And that's all for the flood risk analysis. Then I did for the fall armyworms. Here, let's see. So you add data, and this is an Excel data. Yeah, there's, sorry, I think there is a problem, but that's all how you can do for the risk of pest. Then I did the crop change detection. this is where I used a raster calculator to calculate the bands on band 4 and band 5 for the Landsat Imagery 8. And that's all for the ArcGIS Pro. So I would like to go to the next. Yeah. A little bit. I'm sorry, there's a little bit. Sorry, there is a problem with my laptop. I'm trying to share the screen on the story map. So let's go to the story map. I continue on so let me share my screen. Wait a minute. So let's go to the solution itself. So this ArcGIS solution on crop risk assessment and claims management in Trans Nzoia County. So I took the Trans Nzoia County as a study area and specifically dealing with maize farming and the risk assessment. There is flooding, and this is a dashboard where the output of the solution itself, and we can interact with it and see. So this flood risk map, the output, and this where the insurance companies can access it and notice or identify the areas that are prone to flooding. This will help them in adjusting the premiums accordingly and make more informed and written decisions. Additionally, this flood risk map can aid in development of mitigation measures and to minimize the loss for both the insurance company and the insured farmers. For example, the insured farmers can use this dashboard, as I stated earlier, that they can access some outputs, and this is one of them. So for the flooding, they can implement the proper drainage systems to prevent the losses, and also they can use terraces, etc. to reduce the losses. And this will help both the insurance and the policyholders to mitigate the risk. Then we go to the next dashboard, and this is just the sample of the flooded farm. For the next is pest, and which is fall armyworms. Let's interact with the dashboard. As you can see, the legends, it shows the dense infections and sparse. So we can identify areas that are much affected by the pest. And this dashboard is used to identify the areas that are prone to specific pests and diseases, and which enables the insurers or the company to assess the likelihood of the pest outbreaks in different regions. This allows them to tailor insurance coverage and premiums accordingly. And also the farmers can access this dashboard to help them mitigate the risk, like the use of integrated pest management, whereby they can use they can apply the resistant varieties of crops or employ biological controls measures. And that's for the risk assessment. Then I would like to take you through the risk monitoring. For the risk monitoring, we are using an NDVI, which is a normalized difference vegetation index. These are used to detect the crop health changes. Let's see on the map. Let's take, for example, the areas around Kiptogot and check on the conditions of the crops. And let's use the legend. So you can see the greener part is where the crops are healthy, and some brown part and a maroon part is for the place where the crops health are at risk, or they are not in good conditions. Yeah. So for that, this is 2017. I did it for 5 years period. And then let's see on the 2021. So you can see that there is difference in the vegetation health, whereby for 2021 there is low values on the vegetation index compared to the one for 2017, where it has a slightly higher values. So that's all for the risk monitoring, and this is used by the company or insurance companies to early detect the crop stress factors, such as water scarcity due to drought, pests and diseases, or extreme weather events like flooding. So by analyzing the normalized difference vegetation index trends, insurance companies can identify areas where crops may be at a higher risk of damage or yield loss, allowing them to take preemptive measures to mitigate the potential losses. It's also used to identify the vulnerable areas because it's a study or can be used under a long period of time. So they can identify areas where there is vulnerability, and this will help them to identify where the premiums will be higher or low for the insurance. Then we go to claims management. For claims management, there is submission of the claims, and you can see there is a use of ArcGIS survey 123, and that's the sample of the mobile app survey form. Then we go to the survey form itself, where the policyholder will submit their claims to the company. So let's see the form. So the form has there is a completion date for the survey completion date. Then we have farmer name and phone number. This will help in conducting the policy holder. Then he or she should provide the location and locate the farm on the map below. So this is an interactive map also. Is where they can use to so if there is a farmer from Trans Nzoia, they can use it to identify the location of the farm. As you can see, it's used to, they can draw something like a polygon, and it will identify where the farm is. And then after that, we have the type of crop farming, where it's commercial or domestic. Then after that, either if it's large scale or small scale. After that, they have to identify the risk that has affected the farm. After that, there is the date when the damage occurred. And then after that, they can upload an image of the farm, and this image is geotagged with location, so that it helps in the verifications and identify if it's a legit image. And after that, they can estimate the crop loss and provide the current insurance coverage. So this survey form is a real-time submission form where a policyholder can submit claims in real time from their mobile devices. And this will provide insurance company with immediate access to critical information, which allow the users to quickly assess the insurance, to quickly assess the extent of the damage and initiate the claim workflow promptly. So that's for the survey form. Then we go to the output of the survey. And this is under claims management. It's a claim intake and registration, whereby I used a dashboard to record the details made by the policy holders. And this is the only dashboard that can be accessed by the stakeholders from the bank or insurance company. Let's interact with the map. As you can see, it has a legend where it shows the type of risk, then the extent of the crop loss, the pie chart there, and the number of farmers. So Yeah, you can see. So there is, the map also have the, like for example, there is a parcel of land there that has been indicated or the submitted that it has undergone certain risk. So for example, we can click on the farm there and you can see from the legends what has affected the farm, and it's hailstorms. Then here we have a number of claims that has been submitted, and at the end here there is samples of the images that the policyholders have taken. So that's all for the registrations of the claims. And then we go to after that, we have the claims intake. After claims intake, we have claims investigation. And claims investigation, they use two methods or process. That is use of a normalized difference vegetation index, where this is used to detect the changes in crop health using satellite imagery. So let's interact with the instant app, where it shows the crop loss and the health of the crop before and after the damage. For example, the image there shows an crop land or a farm where there is effect of drought. So we can see now the normalized difference vegetation index for the area before the damage and after the damage. So let's take the NDBS, this parcel of land being our example. So let's say farm number 8, you can see that it's not much green, but it's not too brown. So it shows that it's in above the average value. So that is before the damage, and we can see after the damage at the same area. Yes, you can see how it's more brown, or it's less value here. So it shows that there is true crop damage, or the health of the crops here are at low. So after that, we can see now. So that's for the claims investigation using a normalized difference vegetation index. Then here is a image that's used to, it can also be used to identify the areas where the damage or got sent. Let's see the farm number 9 at Skiptogot. This before the damage, and you can slide to your right to see after the damage. That's for the claims investigation. And then we go to the claims verification, where it uses and field maps to collect the data. This is where the claims adjusters verify claims using ArcGIS story map. And that's the sample of the app itself, where it has a data collection date, claims adjusters name, farmer name, farm location, and the what risk affected the crop, and data when the damage occurred. And after that, we can see let me share my screen on the app. Let's wait. I think there is a problem with that. So we can just continue with the form. So we go to the benefits of this solution. We have a data-driven decision making, whereby the data from ArcGIS provide valuable insights that can inform the strategic decision making within the insurance companies. And this is they analyze trends and claims of the data. Then after that, there is a loss reduction and continuous improvement, where GIS helps insurance companies to identify, monitor, and also detect the fraud. And there is improve in claims processes, where efficient claim processing supported by the comprehensive risk assessment data assure that the legitimate claims are promptly and fairly processed. Then there is a timely alerts and advisories based on the risk monitoring. Policyholders can receive a timely alerts and advisories, thus allowing them to take preventive actions in response of the impending risk. Then we have recommendations, where GIS also supports the use of drones in capturing aerial imagery and collection of geospatial data for analysis. And this can be used in crop claims validation or verification, and also for monitoring. We also have the Earth Explorers or satellite imageries that can be used to monitor the risk and the claims verification. And some of these satellites providers include European space agencies, Sentinel Hub, and NASA. And that's all for my presentation. And from there, I would like to call upon Joseph Kweka from Tanzania to take it over from there. Thank you.
Thank you, Haywood. Hello, my name is Joseph Victor Kweka, a diploma graduate from Esri Institute in Tabora. I'm currently interning at Esri Eastern Africa in Tanzania, and my project is watershed management workflow with ArcGIS. And what's the watershed? Watershed is an area of land where all the water drains into common outlets, such as river or lakes. Watershed, also known as a basin or catchment area. Watershed can be drained either manually or digitally in ArcGIS environment. And the case study area is Wamiruvu Basin, where I'm using to drainage this watershed. And in Tanzania, the challenge facing watershed management is including degradation of the watershed, a population pressure, inadequate conservation intensives. One to help manage this challenge is to delineate watershed boundary, which is main objective of my project. And this can help in planning for various sources like dam construction, thus promote sustainable practice and help in decision makers. In the solution architecture, show the workflow and how a GIS system can aid the managing the watershed. First, you need to add a data as a DIMS from which you can derive tools such as slope filling and other tools in order to delineate this watershed. And also, the ArcGIS expert the result data can able to publish on ArcGIS online, where stakeholders and other collaborators can access resources and visualize or use for various purposes. And also you can view this project package on a desktop, web, or other devices. And users can be government agents, private sector, and industrial, and also can be educators and students. In government agents can be Ministry of Water and Irrigation, Tanzania, Forestry Services, and also in private maybe can be mining companies, and so on. Also, for this processing, to get a model can be a final result data for individual or relevant institution, but it can also be a way to get a good result for integrating with other data from their ArcGIS online. This is the steps that help to delineate watershed by using ArcGIS Pro. And the first step can be a filling, determining flow direction, accumulation flow, reclassify, identify the power point, and we can be able to use the tools as snap point, and we can convert the watershed raster to the polygon. Also, you can continue to calculate the slope of the area of the field that you want to calculate the slope by clipping the raster and use the tools of the slope. And now let me share my ArcGIS Pro and to show how we can delineate this watershed. This is my data, ADM data that was getted from the source of USGS, and grouping and get the get the real data of the area that I want. And the first step to do is the filling process. But before do that, you can add this data. You can add this data by adding on their add folder, and you can continue by following the step. You can continue by filling. You can type filling tools, and you can put your original data, and the output you can set your own, and you can run also and be like that. And the next step is to determine the flow direction. You can type.
I'm sorry, Joseph, we cannot see your screen.
Okay, sorry. Yes, I hope here you can see. So I'm repeating. First step is to add the data, what you download and what you field that you want to do your water delineation. And the first step is to connect your folder and add this data what you want. And also, next step is to use the tools as the filling tools, like filling tool. You can type here in geoprocessing, and geoprocessing is found on you can find it on analysis tab and tools box, and you can find this geoprocess tools. you can type to filling, and fill you can keep your data. You can input your data and you set your output name. And also in the filling, this filling help us to remove the sticking by filling them, and the result is smoother elevation surface and show like that. And the next step is to determine the direction, determine the flow direction of the watershed, flow direction of the watershed. For direction, you can keep your data here, and this you keep the data, filling data, not your original data. You can put it there, and you can set the output data, and also you can set your definitive according to your resources. The next step is to calculate it. You can show, like, let me show the way. Yes, it's shown like this. And the next step is to calculate the accumulation, flow accumulation. Flow accumulation, you can type flow accumulation. This flow accumulation, and you can put your direction, and here you can put your direction previous step. I mean the flow direction output, you can put it here, and output you can say set your own, determine your requirement, and the output is shown like display like that. Okay, and this can and the next step is to show classification from flow accumulation. And this flow accumulation, you can input your data. You can input your data like you can input your data that you want, and here you can input the accumulation. But that for me, I use my own classification according to my view in order to visualize the stream that I want. And this classification is the fundamental step on ArcGIS Pro for data preparation, simplify information, and create meaningful visualization for decision-making analysis. And also, you can convert this raster. You can convert this raster to polygon layer. You can choose your tools, convert this polygon to I mean polyline, not polygon. You can convert this classification to polyline and show like that. And there's another step is to show is to create the features point. You create the features point. You create the features point. As this, you can create the features point, and you can mark as the outlet point where water can drainage according to your accumulation flow. And then you're going to choose your tool snap. Tool snap is able to close the cell of high flow accumulation to account for determining your errors during the placement. Also, the next step here is to use watershed tools. Watershed tools is able to show where show your watershed flow depending on your snap tools. Also, this watershed, you need to convert it the polygon shapefile like that. You need to convert that in order to get the real area. I mean, to convert it from raster to the polygon. And if we want to continue with another step, if we want to continue with other step like to calculate the slope and other, you can use this script. You can use these tools to creep raster to creep your area that you are watershed by using the tools, but and you identify your tools as a slope. When you're running, the result is coming here like that. So if you have a repetitive workflow, you can use a model builder to operate the model that you can run and obtain the result easily. So me, I use this watershed model, and this watershed model you can create from the install tab. That is the workflow of the all steps that you need, and this is help to automate to make your work automatic. And let me back on my briefly, and this is the automated model builder for watershed delineation and this is delineated watershed, and this is the slope you can use to calculate the elevation and your slope. So the benefit on your watershed using ArcGIS Pro, you can say to sustainable resources management, risk mitigation.
Sorry, Joseph, we are still seeing your ArcGIS Pro screen.
Okay, sorry. Oh my. Okay. You can see. I hope you can see. So this is benefiting on watershed management using ArcGIS Pro. You can say to sustainable resources management, also risk mitigation, conservation effort, and community engagement. And by using ArcGIS Pro professionals, such as JS experts and risk managers, or people from my ecosystem and other, can perform analysis and visualizing according to their needs and save time also in making decision and their implementation. Thank you for listening. That is for me, and I like to introduce Joel Nyiti for end up. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I hope I'm audible. My name is Joel Zablon. I am a recent graduate from Ars University, Bachelor of Science in Geographic Information Systems and Remote Sensing. I am currently an intern at Esri Eastern Africa, based in Tanzania. Today I'm going to present to you my project that is on the data dissemination, an integrated portal for data dissemination for agricultural agencies in Tanzania. I'm going to share with you my presentation. So like I said earlier, today I'm going to present to you the integrated portal for agriculture information dissemination based on, designed for the agriculture agencies in Tanzania. Starting with the background analysis of the current situation, it appears that the current system that is in place is decentralized in the sense that the government agencies in Tanzania, that is from the Ministry of Agriculture and the other stakeholders, work in a decentralized manner, as in each agency operates individually. Now, this may bring stagnancy, and also may cause lack of cohesion between these agencies. So this, in essence, makes the ministry inefficient to operate because they cannot collaborate easily with other agencies that also take part in agriculture, making it very difficult for these organizations to work on projects efficiently and seamlessly. So my main objective is to create a unified portal using the ArcGIS Pro Hub and other supporting tools, a portal that will allow all these agencies to coexist and to work together in a single entity, in the sense that all these agencies now that they are individually operating, they can be brought together, or they can be unified using this portal, and they can easily share data and access information between, and allow sharing of information between these agencies with ease. The specific objectives will include the designing and configuring of these tools that I've mentioned here, that including the hub, the dashboards, and the survey 1 to 3, which all together will work in order to create this portal that will be used to host all these agencies in a single place. Yeah, my proposed solution, as it can be seen there, is to bring that collaboration now between these agencies, to allow these agencies to easily share data seamlessly without having to use much effort. Because right now, the way they operate individually, it's difficult for one organization to actually access the data from another organization without going through this bureaucratic process of requesting the data and whatnot. So the proposed solution architecture for this problem now, as it can be seen there, this solution architecture will fully utilize the ArcGIS capabilities from the online capabilities, including apps such as the story maps, the dashboard, the survey 1 to 3, and the focal point of this architecture will be the ArcGIS hub. As it can be seen there, you can see that there are different data sources. There are different data sources that exist at the moment. For instance, some organizations or some agencies may have data that is web-based or it's online. Also, some organizations may have data that they collect from the survey 1 to 3 forms, or from other forms that they've designed in, say, Google Sheets and the rest. Also, some organizations may have data that is locally based. Now, the goal is to bring all this data together into the hub, so that all these agencies now can seamlessly share this data without having to go through one organization to ask for data from the other organization. Now all these organizations can share the data into one hub, so as each organization now and the ministry now can oversee all these agencies, and this data sharing can be seamless and efficient. Now all this data now will be hosted in the online platform that will allow ease of sharing data anywhere. The online platform is efficient in the sense that data can be shared anywhere at any time. Now with the online platform, we'll have capabilities such as the story maps, the dashboard, and the survey 1 to 3 that will also aid in allowing this data sharing to be very seamless. For instance, the story maps can be used to publish different kinds of data that will include maps, text, audios, all within the same story map. Also the dashboard, which is a very powerful tool for data visualization. The survey 1 to 3, which can also be used for data collecting. Now, all these 3 tools that I mentioned here will be hosted in the hub, so which will act as supporting applications or supporting tools to allow the hub to perform the required to have that required demand of the agency, in the sense that they will have apps that can be used to collect data, apps that will be used to visualize data, and all this together will now form that seamless sharing of data in the hub. So as you can see now from the hub, we'll have access to this data. We'll have open access to this data, meaning that citizens now can actually access data from the hub, which is now difficult for instance, even for institutions such as research institutes, for even students. It's difficult to actually get hold of agriculture data because it's located. Say maybe people have the data maybe stored in the local drives, so it's difficult for people to actually get the data online. Now with this portal, everyone can get access to this data seamlessly online, and it can be easily available to people. Also, executive access for the Ministry of Agriculture. Now the ministry will be able to oversee all these agencies and can have access to all the information in a single place. Also, it will allow for stakeholder engagement, but especially for the community, which are the farmers, to be engaged in this solution. Now, introducing the ArcGIS Hub, which is the main point of the solution. The ArcGIS Hub is merely a cloud-based platform that allows for data sharing and cohesion between different organizations. Now, this hub now for this solution has been configured to actually suit the needs of the Ministry of Agriculture for the country. That is it is designed in a way that it can efficiently help the Ministry of Agriculture to organize these other agencies in a single place, and they can work together in a cohesive manner. The mode of operation of the hub, as it's seen here, is that it works mostly in form of sites and pages. That now, assuming these sites are the stakeholders or are the other agencies. Now, as you can see, all the sites are hosted together in the hub, which is, like I said before, the hub is part of the online platform. Now, that makes it a very good solution in the sense that all this data now will be hosted online, and people can transfer this data, can access this data, and can share this data seamlessly without having to go through the process of asking the data from organizations. But furthermore, the platform allows for connection with other, like you can see here, we have the enterprise portal. So as the agency grows, as these agencies grow, they can opt to grow to maximize the system and move to the enterprise portal so as to be able to host all this data and actually accommodate all these agencies. Benefits of the proposed solution. Given that now the current setup is making the data sharing very difficult, this solution proposed will be able to allow for seamless collaboration among the agriculture agencies, in the sense that data can be transferred from one agency to another with ease, and we'll be able to avoid that challenge of data access. Again, centralizes agriculture data. Again, this will help to avoid that movement from one organization to another seeking for agriculture data, because now all the data will be hosted in a centralized hub. So all you need will be in one place. You don't have to go to different places looking for data. Again, the integration of ArcGIS tools, as you've seen from the architecture, we have the solution incorporated a number of tools, from the dashboards, the ArcGIS story maps, also the online platform now, which all these tools will offer advanced analytics to the ministry. Now the ministry can be able to perform hands-on analytics on the data that they receive. For instance, now, again, with the dashboards, you can be able to interactively display the data and allow people to get insights from the data, from that dashboard. Because the current setup now, for instance, data that is published in PDFs from, let's say, from the Ministry of Agriculture, they have provided data in a PDF format. It's very difficult for people to actually read through the PDF to actually make sense of the data. But once that data now is displayed in a graph or in a chart in the dashboard, it'd be easier for someone to get insight to that data. For instance, the trends, the variations and things like that. Also introducing the dashboard. Now, this is one of the supporting tools that is used in this solution. The dashboard merely is not just a tool. It's an insightful, dynamic tool that will allow the data now to be more dynamic. Now, given now this static system of providing data is given the change of technology, now we need to move to a system in where data can be so dynamic, people can easily grasp the information from the data. As you can see here, the dashboard is also part of the online platform. So this dashboard will be configured to actually receive data from sources such as the online platform, also from apps such as the Survey 123 that can be used to collect data. All this data is collected and then is transferred to the dashboard, where now the ministry can actually visualize that data and provide insights, which will also allow for an ease in the decision making to allow informed decision making, because now the data is now visually displayed, and all the insights, all the information now can be quickly grasped. The role of the dashboard, like I said before, is that data visualization, which is very important when we want to put the message across. Again, monitoring and tracking. For instance, we are conducting surveys using the 1, 2, 7, 1, 2, 3 forms. The dashboard can be a very good tool for monitoring these surveys that are conducted. Again, decision support. The dashboard will allow for those in charge to be able to make decisions based on the information that they have received and the insightfulness that the dashboard provides. Meaning the data now has been displayed in a way that you can easily understand, and now making decisions will be much more easier. Another supporting app is the Survey 123 app, which is also hosted on the online platform. This is basically supporting data collection, and it's important because now you can actually connect this app to the hub, so the data from the survey is directly linked to the hub and to the dashboards. Again, ArcGIS story maps. This is also another tool that was used. The story map basically provides visually engaging solutions. Like, for instance, the ministry wants to put across a certain message. They say the agricultural success stories. The use of story maps is important because now with the story maps, we are able to embed videos. We can embed videos, audio. So even if the ministry wants to get out and say an education message to the farmers, now story maps can be one way to go. You can add pictures, audio, videos, as well as maps. So now we can pull all this together in the story map, so as the message now that the ministry wants to get across can be easily shared to the community. Lastly, before I go to my live demonstration, is the recommendation. Given now that the solution and the current setup that is in place, the proposed solution will be fit because of the advanced collaboration tools that facilitate seamless communication and information sharing among stakeholders. As we have seen before, now the platform offers a number of tools and a number of capabilities now that this will enhance performance for the ministry. With advanced analysis capabilities, also decision makers now are able to drive actionable insights from the data that they receive and make decisions based on that data. Again, the platform scalability and flexibility. Now the platform can be designed and can be designed to accommodate a number of agencies. So as the data grow, as the number of agencies grow, this platform is not static. It can be configured now to incorporate the other agencies. So as the more the data grows, the more the organization grow, the platform is flexible in that it can adapt to the evolving needs of the agriculture management. Now I would like to take you to my live demonstration to show you some of the apps that were discussed here and how they were used. Okay, now for the first app that was used was the dashboard. Like I said earlier, the dashboard is an interactive tool that will allow the data that is received from these agencies to be displayed and to be visualized in this dashboard. As you can see here, the dashboard, for instance, here we have data on maize yield for different regions in Tanzania. Now, for instance, the data now, this was collected, maybe the data was stored in PDF formats. Now it was difficult for people to actually go through all those numbers and get and analyze the information from those PDFs. But now, for instance, here the image, the graph shows now that the data has been collected. Let's say the yield data was categorized using different technologies, as in the yield based on the technology used by the farmers. Now, from the graph here, we can easily understand that technology H, which was rain-fed high inputs portion of the crop, is the one that produced the largest amount of crops. So now, we can understand now that for agriculture purposes, the best technology to be used is rain-fed high inputs portion of the crop. Now, this is part of the benefits of the dashboard, that it provides insights to the data that is being collected from the agencies. As you can see, also we have some data for this pie chart that shows data collected from the survey forms that I designed. Now, the survey forms are designed to collect information from the field. Now, which the information collected will be now fed to the hub and can be visually displayed. For instance, here you can see that there are 6 observations, and maybe in the survey form included asking farmers on what the type of technology they used. As you can see, 33.3% said they used the rain-fed. The other percent said they use fertilizer, and the other said they use irrigation. Now this data can be updated as it's collected from the field. So the ministry now can be able to access this information and have this real-time data that can be used to make decisions. Again, I'm going to show you now. Also here, you see there's a capability of hosting the web maps that they can be used to visualize different types of data. From this, for instance, any type of agriculture data can be visually represented here, can be seen here, so people can actually get insights or can have maps that they can interact with here on the dashboard. Again, I'm going to show you now. I'm going to show you the survey forms, how they are designed in order to collect data, so as the data can be fed into the hub and into the dashboards. Okay, this is an example of a survey form that is used for collecting data on crop production. For instance, here we have the general information of the farmer, the size of the farm, the contact information, also the location of the farmer. Now, in here, we're able to collect the crop details, for instance, the type of crop that the farmer has grown, the crop health. You can see maybe it can range from very poor to excellent. Crop management method used. Here we have a list of methods that we are using, say fertilizer, rainfed irrigation, pesticides, and herbicides. Also, we're able to select the crop variety that the farmer has grown. Now, all this information now can be collected and then hosted into the hub, and then visualized using the dashboards. Now, all these apps now have been integrated now to actually work together in the hub. So they have been hosted together into the hub, so as we can now create that portal in which all these agencies can use these applications together in the hub and can be able to seamlessly share data. Now I'm going to show you now. I'm going to move on to the hub. Okay, now this is a prototype of the hub that was designed for the purpose of hosting all these other agencies. As you can see here, we have the main page, in which there's tabs that are contained in this main page. We have, for this demonstration purposes, we have 3 tabs. The first one is in the data library, in which all the data will be hosted from different agencies. And then we have the crop development and production page, which will be focusing on crop development and production, monitoring crop development. And then we have the third page, which is the contributors page, in which this page will particularly now host these other agencies. So we can link these other agencies to this hub via this page. For instance, now this hub now is able to it has capabilities of hosting other applications or other tools. For instance, now we have here the story map. Story maps, like I said before, they can be used to put information across from the ministry. Say, for instance, in this case, we have the story map that shows success stories from different parts of the country. We've seen, we can hear from farmers. We can see how they are doing how they're faring in agriculture. It's taking a long time. Yeah, so basically, this is an example of a story map that can be used to decimate to put information across from the ministry. As you can see, the story maps allows to embed pictures, also maps. It's taking a lot longer to load, but as you can see here, we have now stories from different farmers across the country. Now, in a more dynamic way, we can read through this information without having to use PDFs and other news outlets. Now, the story maps is also, the beauty of the story map is that it's also embedded in the hub. Now, all this information now will be hosted together in one place. So you can read the story maps to get different information that was put across from the agency. It can be educational, it can be even just mere news. So all this can be provided within the hub. So going back to the main page again, we have the dashboard now, which is also linked to the hub as well. So you can actually access the dashboard through the hub itself. As you can see here, it's taking longer. Sorry, it's taking a little bit longer to load, but the essence is that the dashboard now can be also hosted within the hub now. For the ministry now, they'll be able to actually access the dashboard within the hub site. They'll be able to actually access the story maps within the dashboard, within the hub site. So everything now will be put together in the dashboard and form, and that will allow for different agencies to actually now visit the hub site and actually get access to this information. As it loads, let me introduce you to the last page, the last site, which is the contributors page. Now, the page basically is designed to link these other agencies to the ministry. As you can see here, we have a number of agencies. For instance, here is TARI, which can also be linked to the hub. For the sake of demonstration purposes, we have used just a few agencies, but which is to say that now all these agencies now can be linked to this hub site, and then all these agencies now, they will be located in a central hub. All this together now brings all the agencies together to work together seamlessly in order to allow to make data sharing easy and data access easy, so as the ministry can be able to monitor all these agencies in a single location without having trouble to individually contact these other agencies. I think that brings me to the conclusion of my presentation. Thank you all for your time, and good afternoon.